Hey guys, good morning and happy Thursday. Today I always have to look at my watch. Today is Thursday. It's the 21st of May. We're nearing Memorial Day weekend. Can you believe we're nearing Memorial Day weekend? Um, I got my hair cut. So excited to have gotten my hair cut. So I got to see my barber Jim yesterday. That's how I'm going to start today's conversation. Super excited. So I finally got to trim my 11 weeks of growth. And he was like, dude, what'd you do to your hair? Because I've been trimming this part. And so I had a mohawk in the back, and I wanted to just kind of work on growing this swoop. And so what we did was we did an undercut on this side, but then I wanted it faded on this side. And he's like, well, you took too much off over here. I'm like, I was like, but I waited for you for the top. But so at the end of the day, it was really great to see my barber again, Jim, who I love and adore. It was certainly a different experience. Waited until 1 o'clock my appointment time to walk through the door. Sat in the waiting area until he came to grab me, and then we both went through the haircut with masks on. And then when it was time to get more over here, we removed the parts over my ears, and I just held the mask, and then he did his thing. And then when it came to the beard trim, my mask came off, his full visor came on. Hilarity ensued, and so it was a fun time, and it just really felt good to be back in that environment, and it really felt good to be just like around people again. Quite frankly, bringing back that furry side. The furry fade. Yeah, we're doing it, but I'm doing half, right? So I'm only doing half of a furry fade, and I have an undercut on this side. So still doing me. I always do something a little bit different, which brings me to today. So it is coffee talk. So with that, as always, I do have my cup of coffee here. So good morning. Hopefully you have yours now, or you've had yours. This is my second cup this morning. But what I thought I would do this morning is talk to you about something that I haven't talked to you about before, which is INOA Clear. Also one of my favorite things. So I always get questions like, what things do you use for base breaks? Well, we have many opportunities for base breaks within L'Oreal Professionnel's portfolio. You have Sun-Kissed Lightning Oil, which can give you 2 levels of lift for a base break. We have Richesse, which can give you 1.5 levels of lift for a base break. Both of those two, you can use tone to help control underlying pigment. Excuse me. So with the Sun-Kissed Lightning Oil, you can mix up to a full half a tube of Richesse on top of your 1 to 2 mixture as a mixer to control tone while you're lifting up to 2 levels. So amazing base break. Richesse, again, up to 1.5 levels using 15 volume. You have the choice of using clear or clear mixed with some tone, to control underlying pigment. We also have Luo, which you can use as a base break. So Luo is a permanent hair color line within L'Oreal Professionnel. I believe it lives at about 11 or 12 different shades. So we have all the naturals, and then we have a couple of pastels, which are probably the most popular 2 colors within Luo, which are PO1 and PO2. So it's a natural blue or a natural violet. It uses its own dedicated 25 volume developer, and those are amazing for base breaks. Also amazing for toning platinum blondes. So my go-to toner when I was a platinum blonde was Luo PO1 with its dedicated 25 volume developer for 20 minutes. That was my go-to, and I loved the bright white, slightly bluish tint it left. So that's a third way of doing a base break. And now, we have INOA, INOA Clear, which you can also use for a base break, and you can also mix tone into that. But that can give you up to 3 levels of lift because you have the choice of 10, 20, or 30 volume. And what I'm going to be doing for the demonstration today is I'm going to be using INOA Clear in 30 volume, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using it on. But then we also have, and then, let's get back to the and then we have Majirel Glow. So you can also use Majirel Glow for a base break. You can get up to 3 levels of lift with that as well if you're using 30 volume. Neutralizing pigments, translucent tone, no gray coverage though, right? Unless you're mixing it with a natural. So what I also thought I would do is show you my setup, because you don't really always see what we're using. And so I thought I would show you what I'm using, how I'm always set up. I'm a little anal. I like a clean station. I like my work surface to be clean. I like my work area to be clean. So if you look behind me, and this is my setup here, I'm gonna bring it to you, so don't worry, but I'm gonna move her out of the way for a second. So this is the L'Oreal Professionnel Balayage Kit, right? This is available on Level Loyalty to order. They're not typically available in salon-centric stores, although some do have them, I've found, but it is available on the Level Loyalty site. So it's this beautiful bound zippered portfolio with places to put your brush, places to put your clips, combs, a planchette. I keep my 2 different tail combs here. It comes with a black wide planchette. I prefer the blue ones. It comes with a narrow black planchette. I don't usually use the small one, so I only put the big one in my kit. It also comes with, I believe, a whisk, a color key, some L'Oreal Professionnel clips, and it comes with like 1 or 2 brushes. I have my favorite brushes in here. So let's just show you that. So my favorite brushes are the Majirel brush, right, with the rounded side. That's the L'Oreal Professionnel Majirel brush, which I love and adore. I have behind it, this is your INOA brush. All right, it's a little stiffer, but it has squared corners, so you don't miss any spots with INOA, right? So Majirel INOA. Then these are all the new L'Oreal Professionnel balayage brushes, right? So there's 2 sizes. There's the small, and then I believe tucked over here, yep, there's the large. So this large is amazing for putting on your like Dialite or Dia Richesse, because it's wider and you just get more surface area to cover, so you get through it a little quicker. But these, I also use these as color brushes, but these were really designed to be balayage brushes. But again, I like the stiffness of them. They work for me for everything. And then I have my whisks, which I typically use an old brush, so I usually keep an old brush in here as well. My favorite clips are these. So I do make the investment in these clips, which is they're made by a company called YS Park. My combs here, I don't use these for cutting, right? Because these are wider tined combs, but I use these for styling and helping to section, right? These are also YS Park. And then I have a regular tail comb and then a thick tail comb. And then my wide planchette from L'Oreal Professionnel. So that's my setup. Like I said, I like to keep it really neat. So when I go to teach a class, this comes with me all the time. It doesn't always come out, but it's always with me in case I have whatever I need. All right, what else do I have today? I have gloves, because when we're doing color, you need gloves. And normally I use black, but in order for us to load these videos that we're doing to L'Oreal Access, one of the requirements to be able to put them on Access and share them globally is that we have to use clear or non-black gloves. So I love a black glove, but for recording purposes, I've had to switch to clear. All right. Another thing is always a must is a scale. So I love the shakers as well, the Majirel INOA shakers. This is what I use most of the time. Those are my dogs. They're barking. I don't know why. So a scale, a shaker, or a bowl. And then I have a towel handy. And then I always have a towel with me near my mannequin so I can wipe my hands. And then I have Erica here, who's going to be my model today. So I'm just going to tilt this down a little bit. So as you can see today, what we're going to be doing is I had done multiple applications on this Ellie of Majirel Glow. And you can see here that the dark pieces, I don't know if you can see it up close, they're purple. So there are the L22 and the L21. So it's the purple, the violet, and the 21 violet blue. So I'm going to use INOA Clear to bring that off. All right. Look out, doggy. You're on my towel. Always put a towel on your floor. If you're not working on tile, I'm working on my living room carpet. It's a throw rug, but I still love it and I don't want to ruin it, so I am using a towel underneath her. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my INOA Clear. INOA Clear, I know it's backwards, but my INOA Clear. Alright. I am going to mix, I don't need a ton. Alright, so here's the bottom. I am turning on my scale. It needs to be on a counter. Where's the scale? Here it is. Okay. So as always, I mean, if you're new to a scale, what you do is you turn your scale on, place the item on top of it, then there's a button that says either clear or tear. You're going to clear it, which is tearing it, to 0, and then you dispense your color. I'm going to use 20 grams. There we go. Each amount is going to depend on how much you need to make up for your guest on whatever service you're going to be doing. INOA is equal parts, so it's 1 part color, equal parts developer, so 1 part developer. I'm going to use INOA Clear 30. I like to give it a little shake. And then I'm going to dispense 20 grams of 30 volume. So my whole total dispense here is 40 grams. I'm going to put the top of my shaker on. Excuse me, gets a little sweaty in here. Let's see, let's move it back. Move back to there. Move her back. Over. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to give this a shake. I didn't use a whole lot, so you're not going to see a lot of sloshing around. The INOA mix is so creamy and easy. There we go. I am going to be using my INOA brush for this. So what I do is I take the opposite side, usually whichever side has the least amount of product in it. Doesn't matter which side of the shaker you use. Right, so I usually just pick whatever side has the most product in it, and that's going to be my bowl for my service. And then I take the residual product out of the other bowl I just use a brush to scoop it in. We don't want to waste product. There's no need to waste it. It's there. Just scoop it into the other one and use it. 1-to-1 is the mix ratio, yes. 1 part color to 1 part developer. Okay. So you might be asking, so why am I using INOA Clear to remove color? Because normal rules of thumb, right, is that color doesn't lift color. So here's the interesting thing about INOA and some of our other ammonia-free products. De Richesse is one, Sun-Kissed Lightning Oil is another. INOA Clear is another option. They use MEA as their oxidative agent instead of ammonia. And so monoethylamine, I always get tripped up on that word, but close enough. So we use MEA to open the cuticle. That's our oxidating agent. And what's different about MEA as the oxidative agent is it provides you with different lifting and deposit capabilities. So when you're using an ammonia color like Majirel, you get a lifting arc. The first 15 minutes is when Majirel is its strongest, and that is when it does all of its lift, right? So it's lifting, lifting, lifting. After that first 15 minutes, the rest of that time is deposit, okay? And so it shifts gears from lifting to depositing. So when you're using an MEA-based product, it does not use an arc. So what happens when you're using an MEA product is that it lifts and deposits simultaneously, right? So it's lifting, depositing, lifting, depositing, lifting, depositing. And so because of that, you can also use it specifically with like INOA, because it's an oil-based, it's I think works really well. It can lift and deposit, which means it can clarify and pull color out. Pretty interesting, right? So you can, you can do a base break with INOA Clear. So you can, if you did a root touch-up and you put INOA Clear on, you can shift it, right? But the reason why you can shift it is because of the MEA. It's lifting and deposits simultaneously. So it's actually lifting, it's removing color, right? So it's actually breaking it down, and then it can deposit the tone that you have. But we're just going to use INOA Clear today to soften or diminish this purple Majirel glow that I put in here. So she still has some glow on this side. So I will ultimately be able to post a before and after. This side is not as purple as this side, so I chose this one as my side to work on because it was more diverse the deposit of purple was greater than this other side. So that's why I chose this one. All right. So I have my color mixed up. Now, I typically follow the rules, right? So when I do an application, all of the hair is going to shift, right? So using INOA Clear, using any other agent to remove color or doing a base break, it's going to affect natural hair and artificially colored hair. So it doesn't know the difference between what her real color was and the color we put in was. So I'm just going to approach it like I would normally. I'm going to do her parting. All right. So I'm just going around her part. Right, and remember, this is INOA, so your sections, when you're doing your actual application, need to be thinner, right? But we're not looking for coverage in this case. What we're looking for is removing color. So ultimately, I'm gonna be saturating this whole section with this INOA Clear. All right, so lift her up. Let's go back, lift her up again. Let's see. All right, and then I'm going to take a slice, move that out of the way. Oh, let's see how big it's going to stay. Grab a trusty clip. Use your favorite. These are these YS Park clips just happen to be mine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that INOA Clear and 30 volume, and we're going to apply it to the hair. And then I am going to work my hands in it. We want to get that completely saturated. So this is why gloves are also needed, right? You want to work that color into the hair. What this also does is it adds warmth to the hair and to the oil within the INOA. So the heat from your hands help to do the removal of color, help lifting out that color, okay? Next section. So same thing, you can really see a purple piece there. Now I'm just going to use I'm going to go through as much hair as I can with what I mixed up. I'm not sure if I made enough for this whole section, which I think I did, but again, so applying it, then going back with my hands. I'm really just working it through. I want to warm up the INOA with my hands just to give it a little bit of heat, right? Because she's a mannequin, right? And she's not generating any of her own heat. So it's important to give her a little hand. Moving up, another section. So more variations of purple there. And again, I'm just going to continue this process of applying this INOA clear with 30 volume. INOA clear with 30 volume. Processing time for INOA is 35 minutes, but with this type of an application, you are going to be leaving this on based off of eye. So you're going to watch the color develop and be diminished until it gets to the color you want versus doing it by time. Okay, so that is a big difference here. We're not necessarily leaving on the full 35 minutes, because if we did with 30 volume, she can get 3 levels of lift on the pieces of hair that have no color on it, and then we're going to see shift on the pieces that have color on it. And just remember, the mix ratio for INOA is always 1:1. So it's equal parts color to developer. So it's 1 part color to 1 part developer. In INOA, it's nice and easy. You don't have to deal with a lot of fractions, which is awesome. But I tell you, I just make my smartphone my friend. I have it handy. Not because I'm checking my messages, or not because I'm watching TikTok, but because it can help me do math, like if I get stuck. Because sometimes it's not exactly easy. I mean, our teachers in high school, in math, elementary school, middle school, they're like, oh, you're going to use math every day. And then what you realize in reality is you don't really use math every day. But you use it enough that you have to retain simple math, but when it comes to doing fractions, unless you're doing it every day, you get rusty. And so every smartphone, I think probably flip phone nowadays has a built-in calculator, and so we can make use of that pretty easy. All right. So I'm just working this INOA clear through, warming it up with my hands, distributing it evenly through the section, getting a really nice saturation. All right, I'm looking to diminish the purple that is in this mannequin from Majirel Glow. All right, so I'm going to take 2 more sections and then she'll be good. Perfect. All right, and I made up just enough, so good. Good. What questions do you guys have about INOA Clear or INOA in general? What questions do you guys have for color removal? If you're enjoying what you're watching, throw me some hearts. That would be awesome. We all need a little encouragement now and again. Wouldn't you agree? All right. So just working this through. Does this go under heat or no heat? Great question. So this, for the purpose that I'm using it, I would not put this under heat. First reason is with INOA being an oil-based color line, right? We're using the ODS2 technology, the oil delivery system. When you start to put INOA under heat, it starts to liquefy, and then you have a chance of that actually becoming looser, and you have the potential of the color running a little bit from your hair. So it's not usually recommended that you need heat for this particular purpose. So let's see what else we got. So no heat, Jenlyn. What formula am I using? Great question. Thank you, Aubrey. I'll go back to that. So the formula that I'm using right now is simply INOA Clear with 30 volume. I am looking to diminish the intensity, if not remove, all of the INOA Glow L22 and L21 that I have applied to this particular Ellie. All right. So INOA Clear, again, because it's an MEA product, lifts and deposits simultaneously, and that is how it can remove the color. So it's going in and it is basically working to delete the color, right? That's how it lifts. It eats color, right? And then if we were having color in it, but I'm just using clear today, it would also be applying tone. So it would eat some, apply some, eat some, apply some. And I'm just working it through with my fingers here, just really well. I like to give it some hand heat to help with getting, you're welcome. Great question, thank you. I like to put in some hand heat because, again, I'm working on a mannequin who doesn't have any head heat. So usually a guest's head heat and your hand heat is really all the heat you need for this to do its job. It does have limitations, you know, this is only gonna work so much on like a black box dye. Hey, please switch off the comment. I can't switch off the comments because my hands right now are covered in color, but so, and the comments are actually helpful because if people have questions, then if I switch off the comments, then I won't be able to see them, right? So this is meant to be interactive, not just a view, right? So sorry. All right, now I can bring her a little closer. She's not exactly runny, so I can bring her off my towel a little bit. But as you can see here, it's already, lift it up over the comments. It's already starting to lift some of the purple out, right? So it's starting to break it down, which is exactly what we want. Okay. I have a little color just left over in my bowl. So I'm just gonna apply what I have left over so that I can just continue to work it through with my hands, all right? So remember, this is all done by eye. So once the hair gets to a place that you want it, right, which was your goal, then you're gonna shampoo it off with post-shampoo. All right, and the reason why we're using post-shampoo always as our first shampoo is so that we're stopping the oxidation process. Because we all know what happens when you don't stop the oxidation process. Your colors fades faster, they become brassier faster, all right? And so that's why it's so important to use a post-shampoo. You wanna stop the oxidation process. Our post-shampoo also brings the hair's pH balance back to neutral, which is 4.5 to 5.5, okay? Yeah. And yes, I am going to be showing an after view once this is done, so never fear. This side over here also has Majirel Glow L22 in it. It just didn't have as much as the side I'm working on. So I think I had done 2 applications of Majirel Glow on this side and only 1 on this side. So I wanted to do the side that had more deposit from the glow. And granted, I mean, the glow was put in April, I believe, or March. So, you know, but she's not left my apartment, so. Can you use foils with INOA? Sure you could. INOA is really nice also for doing low lights. So if you're doing your base touch-up, there is no reason at all that you couldn't go in with an INOA formula to put in some beautiful low lights. You know, you can mix Majirel and INOA. The timing will be the same, right? So that's not really an issue. I also have done balayage pieces while I have my single process of INOA on. So it's really versatile. Okay, what else? I think I have another question here. Yeah, I love INOA too, one of my favorite. And so yes, you definitely can use foils with INOA. So again, I'm just simply working this through because she doesn't have any head heat. And I want the warmth of my hands to add a little bit of heat to this oil, which is just gonna help it do its job a little better. And I don't have to worry about, you know, the oil liquefying and dripping down my client's neck or onto their gown. So again, you know, we want to work neat always. This doesn't really hurt your guest's head as you're doing this. I found, in fact, I actually find like people enjoy it when you play with their hair. So this is just like a form of relaxation because you're like gently, methodically massaging their hair. And so most people find that to be enjoyable, right? Now, I mean, I'm working it, and I mean, I still think it would be something that would be enjoyable, so. All right, so even these pieces now, you can see, let's see if I can get some off. All that purple's gone. She's just now blonde left over, right? She's gonna be blonde or blonde copper, because she was a copper to start with, a level 7 copper. All right. So it is definitely doing its job. It's doing exactly what it was meant to do. INOA Clear can also be used to do highlights. I find, you know, if you're doing a single process and your guest just wants a little bit of brightness, you don't want to change a ton of tone, she doesn't want to be, you know, a level 10 highlight, the INOA Clear can go in and give you some nice, soft, sun-kissed highlights. And then you can do it with clear. You just have to worry about then what level you're starting from, because you're going to then see some, you're going to see some underlying pigment pop through. Right, which we can control because you can mix in tone into INOA Clear. It just softens the intensity of the tone that it is that you're working with. All right. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna post the after from this service later on today after I get it all done. I will get her styled and dried just so that you can see the before and after. Yeah, you can see the purple diminishing now, like a lot. So check back later for the afters, and if you have any additional questions, This is going to be posted to my IGTV. It will live on my Instagram page. I usually leave these up as a, what do you call it? A preview for like 24 hours. And then, because usually when I post them directly from a live, they mess up my pattern on my Instagram page. So, you know, like I said before, I'm a little bit anal and controlling, and so it doesn't always put the IGTV post with the preview where I want it. And so I leave them up for about 24 hours to be able to have you guys view them from my page. And then I delete the preview, but the actual videos, see, oh, that's beautiful. The actual videos still live on my IGTV, okay? All right, guys, so check back later. Have a good one.